guys, get ready for another episode of Below the Iceberg, the one and only podcast where we talk to real-life 2 Comma Club winners. Whether you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur, or you've been in business for a while, you're sure to pick up lots of actionable advice from these million-dollar entrepreneurs. Now, if you don't know what a 2 Comma Club winner is, it is where they've built one funnel inside the ClickFunnels software, and they have sold $1 million through just that one funnel, which is just an absolutely fantastic achievement. Now, in today's episode, I'm really excited to be talking with Paul Murphy, and we will be discussing Paul's trip to his $1 million empire. Now, going from broke to two Comma Club awards in just under 7 months, which is just like, wow. So let's dive in and find out all the ups and downs of Paul's journey, how he discovered that he can get you ranked on Google in under 24 hours, and how this worked in his favor on his journey to the coveted $1 million funnel. Welcome, Paul, and I really want to congratulate you on your 2 Comma Club award.
Thank you.
That is an absolute awesome achievement. And I believe you got 2 in 7 months. Is that right?
Yeah. I could have actually got 3, but I didn't apply for the 3rd one. So yeah, I got 2 in 7 months. Yeah. That
is awesome. So what I like to do is I like to look into people's stats before I talk to them. So I looked up your stats and I found a few things out. So correct me if I'm wrong now. So I found you got a Facebook group with about just under 4,000 people in.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually know. Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. Yeah. You know more than I do. Yeah, I think it's just under 4,000. I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, bang. I think it's 3.9. Yeah. Yeah,
that's right. And then YouTube. I don't know if you've got a couple of YouTube channels, but the one I found, you've got 6.3 thousand subscribers.
That one I do know. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
And then I found you've got ClickFunnels Facebook page with about 2,500 followers.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah, sounds about right.
If you say so, yeah.
I didn't find any other social platforms. Do you go on any other social platforms, or is that it?
Pretty much it. Yeah. I've got a LinkedIn profile, but I never use it. I think I've got a Twitter account I've never used really. I've got Pinterest. I think I've used it a couple of times. So yeah, not an awful lot of other things. Yeah, I'm pretty much all in with YouTube, and yeah, obviously we have our communities and things like that on Facebook.
Facebook. Okay. Yeah. So you've got a couple of different business names. I think I'm right by saying this. I found Tube Affiliate.
Right.
And TripFunnels.
Tube Affiliate doesn't ring a bell. TripFunnels is a domain name I sort of use. It's not really a business name. It's just kind of a domain that I got a couple of years ago, and I've been using it ever since.
All right. Okay. So what is the business name then, or do you go under your name?
Well, me basically, yeah, Paul Murphy, and I've got obviously the names of my courses, my online courses. I've got 4 online courses now. So we've got the 24-hour ranking system, Affiliate Tube Success Academy, and we've got the Traffic Tube Secrets, and we've got Launch Hacking Secrets as well. So yeah.
Okay, so can you tell our listeners a little bit about what you actually do?
Yeah. So I show people how to rank YouTube videos so they can turn their product into, so it really doesn't matter what product or service people are using, they can turn it into a video format. And by doing that, they can take advantage of the Google algorithms. So basically we can get those ranked on Google and YouTube, because Google's pushing for videos now a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I do. That's like all of my courses are based around that, like showing people how to get on the front page of Google, with their products.
Okay. So which product did you win the 2 Comma Club? Oh, well, you won 2, well, nearly 3. Which ones did you win that with?
So we've got the Affiliate Tube. They both say ATS Academy on them, but one of them was for Traffic Tube Secrets. The other one was for Affiliate Tube Success Academy. So yeah.
Okay, so they're courses.
Online courses, yeah.
Online courses. Okay, and when did you actually hit the 2 Comma Club?
I hit it in July last year, I think was the first one. And then the other one we got like literally 3-4 months later.
All right. Okay. And was it a goal to hit the 2 comma club?
Yeah, because I can remember, I've seen a few people do it as well. It's kind of, you think it's a bit sad when you do it, but it's kind of inspiring. I got a bit of card and I drew out the 2 comma club and I kind of made it and I stuck it on the wall and I was kind of looking at it, trying to envisage it and trying to, you know, obviously, what's the word?
The universe. Get the universe to make it happen.
Make it happen. Envisage is there's a better word. I know.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of it either.
Manifest. I was trying to manifest it. That's it. So yeah, manifest. I was trying to manifest it, and for quite a few years, and then it kind of all happened, you know, all at once, really.
Okay, so what were you doing when you realised you hit 2 comma club?
So I was promoting my affiliate Tube Success Academy, which was that is my flagship course, which is the one that kind of shows everything about ranking YouTube videos on the front page of Google. Okay. So I've been promoting that behind the scenes, and I've been working actually sort of 2000. I noticed the system. I noticed like it was the 6th of April 2017 when I first noticed videos started appearing on the front page of Google.
Right.
And before that, I started my first business in 2002.
I'm gonna stop you there because we're going to rewind to that in a minute.
Okay.
We're going to go back there in a minute.
Okay.
So just where can you remember where you were when you realised you hit the 2 comma club?
I was in my bedroom. Sorry. Is that what you mean? I was in my office. This used to be my bedroom, so this is my office.
Okay, and what did you do when you realised?
I think I got the actual award in June or July last year, but I think it took me about a month to realise I'd actually hit it because I was kind of quite busy. I was kind of like obviously working quite hard. Yeah. And then I realised, I've hit it, so I can now put in for it.
Okay. So you weren't watching it constantly, and then you went, "Oh yeah, we've done it." It was like a little bit afterwards.
Yeah, I think it was about a week or two, maybe even a bit longer, 2 or 3 weeks after that I kind of realised, and then then I put in for it.
Did you have a party? Did you celebrate? Did you tell everyone? What did you do?
Not really. No, I just carried on. I just put in for it, and then I mean, I did one of those reaction videos when I first got it, and I opened it, and I put that up. And then and then you can obviously see them on the wall behind me. So I put them up on the wall behind me, which replaced this really horrible clock I had on the wall. So I was quite happy to have something to replace those with.
You get the award quite a long time after you've hit it though, don't you?
Well, actually, that's what everyone said to me. But when I applied, I think it took about 2 weeks.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, and everyone said that's actually very, very like they must have just been doing a run or something. So I got that, and the second one as well didn't take too long. It took about maybe a little bit longer, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I can't really remember. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So I'm going to do a little bit of a rewind now, and I want to take you back to your childhood.
Okay.
Okay. What did your childhood look like?
So my mum brought up 3 boys on her own. I came from a council estate in Colchester in Essex, northeast Essex. And my poor mum, long-suffering mum, had to bring up 3 boys. I was the youngest, and we were cramped into this mid-terraced. And I would say it was a violin story, but it's not really, because we had a great childhood. We had loads of friends that we lived on the street with. We lived near some woods. We used to play out and have a lot of good fun. I got bullied a bit at school, but then when I went to live with my dad when I was about 10 years old, and that was a bit of a rougher neighbourhood. So I came back and I sort of stood up to all the bullies. So I got through that. But I'm just mainly really just average intelligence. When I left school, I didn't really go to school for the last 2 years.
No,
wasn't massively interested.
No. Did you do GCSEs, A levels?
I was the first ever year to do GCSEs. So I finished school in 1988. And we were the first year ever, and I think I got 3, although I did lie on my CV when I was applying for work, but I think I got 3 that were not even in, like, I think E, F, G.
All right, okay.
The thing I was really good at school was actually drama, acting. I wanted to be an actor when I was, and music.
I wanted to be an actress when I was in school as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I ended up going to college when I'm obviously jumping ahead, but I went to college when I was in my mid-20s and did
Right.
2-year course of acting. And then I applied to all the drama schools and didn't get in, so I gave up.
So when you left school, what happened then? Did you go to college when you left school, or?
No, because my mum lived on her own and she wanted me to pay rent, right? So I got a job. The first couple of jobs I got fired. I got a job as an apprentice upholsterer, and I used to have to be up really early in the morning, and I got knackered and I didn't like it. It's real physical work, which I've always been a bit afraid of. And yeah, I know I was like flat out as soon as I got home from work, and I used to have time off, and I threw sickies, pretending I was a film.
You do.
Yeah, and they eventually they gave up on me and just walked. I walked in one day and they walked me out. The next job was on a building site, and that was the same thing. And then I got actually a friend of mine. His mum was a teacher, and she sat down and helped me with my CV. And I took that into a few places, and I got a job working in insurance.
All right.
So I was an office junior making coffees and things like that.
Yeah.
And filing, because we had filing cabinets then.
I remember them.
You remember them, yeah. So I did that for a year. That was really good fun, and I liked that because that wasn't hard work, and everyone was quite a laugh in the office. So I did that, and then I was selling. Home and motor insurance on the counter, so people would come in and ask for a quote. Obviously, we'd do that, and then. Yeah, and I did that kind of on and off for about 10 years.
All right, so, okay. So where did you fit your acting course in? Did you do that at night school or?
Yeah, so when I did from 1989 to about 95, 96, I did that. And I also was, I used to do DJing in nightclubs at the weekend.
All right, okay.
All the nightclubs around Essex, the YMCA. And I used to do all the party tunes because I wasn't very good at mixing, so I just play all the fun stuff.
Like Superman.
Because I'd started off doing it for mobile discos, like for weddings and things like that. So then I started working in clubs, but I could only get work in the clubs where I didn't, I could just have, play the fun stuff. Because if any of the like proper serious clubs, they'd see me mixing and think, no. But yeah, so I did that for quite a few years, and I was doing insurance in the week, and then I'd do that at the weekends. And then I went traveling in about 96, 97 to Australia and New Zealand for a year.
Right, okay.
And while I was away, I was kind of having a big old think to myself about what I want to do with my life. So I was in my mid-20s then, and then I came back and I decided I was going to go and be an actor. I was going to do it, right? I was going to do the whole thing. So I did 2-year BTEC at the Colchester Institute. So it's a BTEC National Diploma.
Yeah.
Did that. It was great fun. It was, this is where I actually did get a good grade, relatively good, a respectable grade, I would say, because I was at college. I was still young enough to kind of hang out with the kids, but old enough to know better. But I could have got a better grade, but I did all right. And then it was because I thought I was quite good at it. And then I auditioned for all the top drama schools in the country.
All right.
And you had to sort of go up to some of these drama schools and you'd audition in front of each other. And then I kind of was just looking at everyone, and I'm like, I know if I'm good, right? And in my class, I was kind of good. And actually, one of my classmates went on to be like, he's in all the Avengers movies and things like that. He was really good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's not famous, but he gets all these parts, like small parts. He got an Olivier Award for playing Ray Davis in the Kinks, the London West End, the West End musical, which was called Sunny Afternoon.
All right.
So he's doing all right, but he's not famous because he just gets these parts in. He was in Mary Poppins. He was in Judy, the film Judy. But he was really good. But I thought I was good, right? But he was really good. When I went and auditioned at all these drama schools, I was watching all these people and I was thinking, I'm not as good as them. Like, I knew my audition was nowhere near up to scratch. And then it was kind of like, okay, this is serious. They're having these open auditions for 3 or 4 months, and you have to pay, right? Like £50, £100 to audition. You have to actually pay these places. And they have these auditions every day for months and months and months, and they've got 30 places. And I just worked it out in my head, and I thought, and I couldn't tick the box that said, can you afford the fees, right? which I think is a big part of it as well. So, you know, a lot of that was going on, and I wasn't even getting to the second round, and I can't sing. So I wasn't getting to the second round of all these auditions. And then it was kind of like, do I really want this? Because I think if I really wanted it, I could have figured out a way to get a coach and get it all sorted. But I didn't want it enough. It was more of a pipe dream. And when I realized that, I literally walked, like after I'd auditioned for all the drama schools, I literally walked into a temping agency and got a job working back in insurance. And
okay.
So I did that till 99. Well, I did I started, so 97, 99, I was in, I was doing my college course. From 99 till 2001, I worked in insurance, and I wanted to, you know, get a career then, because I was kind of in my late 20s, and I was thinking, well, what do I do in my life? So, yeah, one of the things I did, actually, I don't know if you want to know about this, but it's quite interesting. I basically, because I walked in and I thought, right, I've messed up my life, right? I haven't done anything with my life, and I want a career. I'm 29 years old. What do I do? And one of the, there's a chap on the, a chap there called, I think his name was Keaton, and he was a team leader, and I wanted to be a team leader. I wanted to like get to this managerial position.
Yeah.
But I'd never managed to do it before because of, you know, obviously chucking sickies and maybe having a bit of an attitude when I was younger and things like that. So I just thought, right, I'm going to, in the next 6 months, I want to get his job. And what happened is he was on a bus, like we had an away day or something, and he'd mooned on this bus, and they demoted him from team leader back to customer service advisor, which is what I was.
Right.
And I'd literally walked in there as a temp, and I said, right, I'm going to get his job in the next 6 months. But all I've got to, he had 6 months to prove himself to get his job back. So the way I sort of gamified it in my head was like, if I can prove myself in the next 6 months, I'd probably stand slightly more of a chance because I don't have a black mark against my name.
Yeah.
And that was just how I sort of gamified it in my head. And I just basically, I would turn up early. I would not clock watch. I'd come up with some ideas, and I wouldn't get upset if they didn't get taken on. I would, you know, I used to smoke, so we'd go out for a fag break and everyone would moan, right? And I would go out and I wouldn't moan. I would be like, right, I'm not going to moan about anything to anyone because obviously that gets noticed.
Yeah.
And I just kept doing these little things. And then when a man, and I would help my team and made sure that my stats were all in line, but I would help my team over and above, you know, and I would do all these little things. And it didn't take long. I literally, within 6 months, I got the job. There was 40 people that went for the team leader job that came up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even allowed to apply for it officially because you had to be there 12 months. But somebody pointed me out and said, well, you'd be stupid not to let him apply. And so I got to apply and I got the job. And then I went from team leader to project manager. And then when I was there, I just built so much confidence. I got skills. And then I kind of kept coming up with ideas to start my first business. And then eventually I took the plunge and I just basically, I jacked the whole thing in about 3 months before I was about to get redundancy because they were shutting the call center.
Oh, right. Okay.
But I didn't know that at the time. So I jacked my job in, and 3 months later I would have got, you know, 5 or 10
What was the
grand.
turning point that made you start your own? What was there something that happened that you thought, right, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah, so my friend's brother's 5 years older than us, and he started his first business when he was 30. And when I was younger, I was like always doing things, right? Like I would rent out rooms in my house, or I had 2 discos, and I hired a DJ, and I would have one out and I would do one. And these were like little mini businesses, right?
Yeah.
And I was always quite entrepreneurial by spirit. So, but I had made up my mind that I wasn't going to start my first business till I was 30. Because I thought as soon as I start my business, my life's over. You know, I'm just going to be working all the time, which was the complete opposite, actually. And so when I jacked the job in, I actually, the first idea, because I'd worked in insurance, I'd never really didn't really have kind of like any skill set apart from like I could work a spreadsheet, or I could work a computer, or I could work an email.
Yeah.
But I didn't really have any sort of skills to start a business because you couldn't really start an insurance company, right? Like, how'd you do that? So I was kind of like, what do I do? So I came up with this. I don't know if you found this much out, but this will probably make you laugh. I decided I was going to be a wedding planner.
All right. Okay. How did you come up with a wedding planner?
Because I thought I could figure it out. And I mean, I've got to be honest, I can't remember why I came up with that, but that's my recollection is that I thought I'd be able to figure it out, right?
But you hadn't got married then?
No. No, and I hired this little office, and bearing in mind I'd sold my house at the time, so I was kipping on my buddy's floor, and I had this office that was like 3 flights of stairs, and it had no windows. And any of my friends or family who come around would like come around once because they would just be knackered from these stairs. But then, but I had this woman came up with her daughter. I made up some leaflets, and I was going around handing out these leaflets. And anyway, she came up and she said to me, she said, "So why should I hire you?" And I was like, "Well, I'll get you discounts on wedding dresses and rings." I didn't know what I was doing, right? And she said, "No, but I'm a mum." She said, "That's kind of my job." She said, "I want to do that." She said, "Why should I hire you?" And she asked me lots of questions. She was like, "Do you have a degree in textiles?" Which I still even don't know what that is. I said, "No." And she said, "Are you gay?" I was like, "No." And she was asking me all these questions. And I was kind of like, and then she asked me, would I match the drapes? Because they were going to have a marquee. Would I match the drape colors with the color of the napkins? And I went as white as a sheet. I was like, I do not want to ruin your daughter's wedding, you know? And I made up my mind there and then I wasn't going to do this business, but I had this website. I had this kind of thing ranking, which had taken me it was really easy back. This was 2002. So it was really easy.
Did you make the website?
Yeah, I made the website on, there was a kind of, Microsoft had this thing at the time called Microsoft Front Page, which basically just turned Microsoft Word into a website builder.
All right, okay.
Really, really primitive. It's really basic. But the fact is that most websites back then looked like that anyway. They look really bad.
They're all rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah, but it took me ages to figure this thing out. I'd like keep going. And eventually I got a website together. And yeah, and it took us about 3 months to rank it on Google. It was really easy to rank, but it took a while for it to rank.
Right.
So you do these backlinks and these things that you like, just a couple of things, like add it to some directories. And then, 3 months later it would rank. And then when I realized there wasn't going to be a wedding planner, I was sort of left with this website. And I had traffic because it was ranking. I worked out a little trick to get it ranking all over the world.
Oh, right, okay.
It was ranking one place in Arizona. It was ranking for every single keyword to do with weddings.
Right.
So I just reached out to all these companies, and this one company said, "Send us the traffic. If anyone books anything, we'll give you a commission." And PayPal had just launched then. So they said, "We'll pay it to your PayPal."
All right, okay.
And I sent them the traffic. And then, literally a few days later, I got $350.
So like if somebody was opted into the website, you'd send the leads to this company?
Yeah. So the website itself was like, it was set up as a wedding planning website. Right. So, but what I used to do is put my phone number on it. So I switched that for the link to this guy's in Arizona. So he was getting all the traffic, right? Basically, no matter where it ranked in the world, it was going to this one place in Arizona. But the thing is that when I phoned him 3 days later, I got this commission, and I'd never known about affiliate marketing or anything like that. I was like, is this my money? Can I take it out? So I contacted him and I said, this is really cool. He's like, he said, "No, that's a 10%. Somebody's paid us $3,500 and we've paid you 10%. He said, "But that $3,500 is 10%. He said, "They've bought a whole wedding package off us for $35,000. And I said, "Wow." I said, "So I'm going to get 10 times that amount?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "You're due $3,500. He said, "And you'll get it." He said, "Because people don't cancel." And I was like, "Wow." And he said, "The thing is," he said, "you're filling up our calendar." He said, "Because you're ranking for every keyword." He said, "We're literally getting everything come from you." And I was like, wow, and that was kind of how I got started in business. So I basically fell into affiliate marketing, which is kind of weird. Yeah.
So after that then, so that was just ticking along in the background.
Yeah.
What were you doing?
So, well, what we did was it was just me in this little office, and I decided to duplicate these websites because it took me so long to build this thing. We thought if we duplicate it, change the niche, change the title, change the wording, we could do the whole thing in a couple of hours, right? And then we would do the same strategy to rank it, but we'd have to wait 3 months. Right. But then it would rank, and then we had this little black square thing, which was like a global tracker, which was a free piece of code you'd put, and it looked like a little globe, right? But it was free, so you could click it. Anyone could click it if they went to the website, but most people would ignore it. But if you clicked it, it would tell you where all the traffic was coming from.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. So I would basically put one of these trackers on, and then 3 months later, when this thing ranked, we'd look at where the traffic was coming from. We'd go and put the website up for sale in that area.
All right, okay.
And people would go crazy. Like we would get people like literally, and we would sell these for quite a lot of money. So like we could be selling these for £10,000 or £15,000.
So what sort of businesses did you do?
I did one for mobile discos. I did one for loans. I did so many different ones. I just chose businesses where what we worked out to start with, I was just doing anything, right? And then we worked out if we could sell it, if it was worth 4 times the amount we would sell it for. And we had a benchmark of like 10 or 15,000 pounds for these websites that we wanted to sell it for. But if it was worth 60,000 plus, then it was going to be worth it. So we would look at businesses that we know that if we filled up their calendar with leads, you know, and I know some of these companies, like literally, I remember this guy phoning me up, literally the minute we made it live. There was something in the UK, I think it still exists. It's called Businesses for Sale. So we put it up for sale.
All right,
there.
Yeah. I've heard that.
And literally the minute it would be up, someone would ring us because we had the front page of Google, right? So they'd be like, we want this, we want that. And I would say, okay, cool. And they say, yeah, but I can't give you the money now, but if you hold on the phone, I'll phone my wife. Please don't take a call from anyone else and things like that. And we'd be like, wow, you know, these were selling like hotcakes. So yeah, so it was really, really good business for a while. And then Google obviously took all of our websites away because they had all these penalty slaps and things like that.
Right. Okay.
Basically took everyone's website down. So we had to go through that as well.
So what did you do then?
So yeah, good question. So that kind of leads me up to discovering my system, because I did all right for a few years, right? So I go skiing every year and I go on holidays, and I got to be honest, I wasn't as motivated then as I am now.
Right.
So I went into a little bit of oblivion, but I had a bit of money in the bank, but that all ran out, right? So I kind of, once I lost all the websites, I was like, there was nothing.
Right.
And so yeah, for a few years it kind of went like that. And then I got to a point where I was like, my back was against the wall and I was about to lose the roof over my head, right?
Oh dear.
I was like, yeah. So I was like, I've got to do something about this. And then it was, yeah, well, I'll never forget the day. It was actually April the 6th, because I wrote it down on my diary. 2017 was when I noticed the videos appearing on the front page of Google.
All right, okay.
And that's how it got my attention, because I was like, whoa, if I can take advantage of this, this is going to save my business, right? I wasn't intending to show people or, you know, become a guru or anything like that. I was just wanting to save my own business. So I phoned my ad manager, because I was throwing spaghetti at every wall, right? And I couldn't get anywhere. But I phoned my ad manager at the time, and I said, you know, he said a few things. He said, Google anticipates that everything's going to be video in the next 5 years. And obviously TikTok's built for video. Instagram's now sort of 1 minute loops.
Video, yeah.
YouTube Shorts, 1 minute loops.
Yeah.
Facebook, 1 minute loops. Like everything's video. So, but at the time, obviously that wasn't the case. But video is still the number one engaging thing, even then. And he said, we're pushing more and more video. And I said, well, you know, how do I do this? He said, well, you just got to give Google what it wants. And I said, I want to do this long term though. I don't want this to be something I do today and it's gone tomorrow. And he said, no, you don't need to do any of that stuff that's going to get you banned. He said, you can just give Google what it wants, all, you know, play by the rules sort of thing. And you can keep them here for years to come. And and then I tried to hire all the gurus. None of them knew how to do it. So I decided to figure it out myself.
Right. Okay. So what did you do?
So I literally spent 2 or 3 years, because over the years I'd been learning a lot about SEO and learning a lot about how to rank websites. So I I started there really. I started by applying my strategies that I'd learned with SEO and ranking websites and trying to see if any of that worked with videos, and some of it did, some of it didn't.
But what videos were you doing? What was the purpose of the videos that you were like messing about with, testing?
Yeah, so my background's always been affiliate marketing, because I was doing affiliate marketing before I did anything, obviously, from that very first website where I was sending the traffic.
Yeah.
So I didn't, again, at this stage, I didn't have a product of my own. So I just went back to affiliate marketing. And the first product I think I promoted on my channel was Webinar Jam.
All right. Okay.
So I just signed up for because I didn't have much money either. I was about to lose the roof over my head. So I just signed up for like 14-day trials, or actually Webinar Jam at the time were doing a 60-day trial.
Oh,
which
wow.
is, you know, most of them now just do 14 days, don't they? So I got a 60-day trial. I'd go and like spend 2 or 3 days playing with the software, and then I'd just go and write reviews, tutorials, things like that.
All right. Okay.
And it just skyrocketed almost immediately. And then as I was kind of learning this stuff, I was learning what worked and what didn't. And that's what I ended up showing people, you know. Obviously.
So did you make some money? Did you make affiliate money when you were doing this?
Yeah, to start with, it was, well, the thing is, because I can remember, because I was so skint, right? So when I was doing Webinar Jam and Ever Webinar, we were getting tons of signups, but we had to wait for the money because they were 60-day trials.
Oh, right.
Then you had to wait 30 days money back guarantee after the trial, because Webinar Jam was doing a 30-day as well as the trial. And then you had to wait until because they paid monthly. So you would quite often wait up to 4 months.
Oh, wow.
And I was pulling my hair out because I could see all this money building up, but I wasn't getting it. Right? And I was like, I'm going to lose the roof over my head. But yeah, but that was quite an exciting / tough time, because I didn't know if they were going to pay me, you know, because I've not done this for a while. But the good news is, obviously, with that, obviously, we did have stats. We did have ways to track it and keep an eye on it. Whereas back in the old day, it was all done on an honesty basis sort of thing, you know.
So when did you come across ClickFunnels?
So ClickFunnels, I mean, I think I saw one of their first ads on YouTube years ago. And there was like a man and a woman, and they would do this thing. I can't remember what it was, but I wasn't massively interested. Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. There was a man that walked in with something like a letter, and a woman who walked in. I'm trying to remember the ad. If I can find it, I'll send it to you. But and that was ClickFunnels, and I can remember not paying that much attention. And I was using WordPress. I used WordPress for quite a few years.
Right.
And I think I signed up with ClickFunnels in 2017.
Okay.
So yeah, when ClickFunnels was becoming a bit of a household name, it was kind of around about the time that I started. And I've promoted a lot of the ClickFunnels products as well. I've promoted Funnel Secrets, Funnel Scripts, which is Jim Edwards and Russell. One Funnel Away, we did really well with One Funnel Away.
So were you promoting all of those with your YouTube videos? Yeah.
I haven't promoted them actively over the last year or two because I've been promoting my own products. But I did really well with One Funnel Away was like 2019, 2020. We did really well with that. Traffic Secrets, the book. Yeah. We did really well with that in terms of sales, but not in terms of money, because you would get $1 for every sale, but they'd have some upsells. So that was successful in terms of, like, we got 500 sales in the first few days, but yeah, it wasn't massively lucrative, but it was, but we did get a few sales. Yeah.
So when you did that affiliate marketing, so you made a video, people would see it on Google. Yeah. Come watch your video. Then where did you send them? Did you send them to a funnel, or where did you send them?
So for those, so what I would start doing is, that's a good question, because what I've created is what we call the magic affiliate funnel, because it helps people create their own email lists when they're promoting affiliate products. All right. And it builds a strong email list the way we design it. So what I started doing was, I started by just sending people directly to the product. And then once we had 5 or 10 of these videos, we would plug all those videos, because they would be like demos, tutorials, things like that. So we'd plug them into a 10-part series. All right. And instead of sending them direct to the product, we would say, if the page would be like, here's how you build a landing page in ClickFunnels. It'd be like, get my free 10-part series on how to create your entire funnel system in ClickFunnels, right? Okay. So it'd be the next natural step would be for them to go from the video to get, because obviously when someone's on YouTube, they want something free. If there's something else for free, and it's related to what they're doing, then it's going to be a good fit. So we would put that into the funnel, and then they would opt in, and they would just have literally just a page saying, where should we send your 10-day course? Right. And what that did was, because of the way we designed that, the first thing was that they would give us a real email address rather than that one that we always give when we're trying to spy on other people's funnels. We've all got them, right? No, but because obviously we live in a world where we want an easy life. So because obviously people want this training, they don't want to give us the crap email. They want to give us the real one. So it kind of ticked that box. And secondly, as well, because they're seeing us going through all these days, we're building like massive amounts of know, like, and trust. Yeah. So by doing it that way, obviously we have a very highly engaged email list as well. So, And not only that, there would be like 20 sale points direct to the product instead of just one, which meant that we'd reduce refund rates as well. And not only that, like people would, you know, this would be like retargeting as well, keeping top of mind. So people would be building that trust with the product and then buy it. And we saw sales like literally skyrocket. And that came out of me learning the YouTube system. Like I kind of like figured out if we could kind of tackle other things like traffic's the biggest problem for most people.
Yeah.
And by tackling traffic and tackling building an email list, I didn't start building my first email list till 2017.
Right.
And I'm still like, think, what on earth was I doing? Right. You know, it's kind of, you know, but yeah.
So when you were doing that. So how did you then switch and start doing your own course?
So, yeah, I mean, as I was getting results with that, a friend of mine, Marcus, he started his podcast in 2017 and he asked me to go around and get it on the top of his. I said I could go because we both come from back home, we went to school together.
All right.
When I moved down to Brighton, he came down with me and we shared a flat for the first 6 months.
Right. Okay.
And he knew all the troubles I was like having with Google over the years with these websites, when every time they would put a new penalty slap, we would come down. And so when he launched his podcast, he was like, can you come around and you know, and I got him some listings. We got him at the top of Google, like within about 45 minutes. And he was like, whoa, you know, he said, that's crazy. And he said, like, have you ever thought about showing people? And I was like, I really hadn't, you know, it's kind of like one of those cartoon light bulb moments, you know, where you think, oh my God. And I knew as well that I couldn't even scratch the surface with what I have. Like I knew that people needed to know this, right? Like it was kind of, I know it sounds like a fake thing to say, but it did feel like a bit of a duty for me to go out there and start showing people because I you know, I knew that when people got hold of it, they'd be able to, you know, like do amazing things with their businesses.
So what did you do when you decided that you were going to start the course? Did you build it first or did you do it live with your first group of people?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. And I fell into the mistake that everyone falls into, and I put up a free course on SEO initially on my YouTube channel, and I couldn't give this thing away, right? I tried everything. I remember like emailing people in Facebook groups and saying, do you want this course? It's really good. And some guy said, yeah, sure, whatever. And I could see whether he'd logged in and he hadn't. Like, and then I heard a few people say this back in the day, like, you can't really guess what people want, even though you know something. You don't necessarily know how to teach it, and you necessarily don't know. So I went about it this is the way I teach people now. I'm actually going to be coming out of a course soon that shows people how to do it this way, because I think a lot of people make mistakes.
Yeah.
Especially when putting up courses, because there's a lot of noise out there. It's really hard. But if you want to make a course that absolutely crushes it and kills it, because we've done $3 million, obviously in the last 12 months of our course. So I didn't know how to do this. I had to figure it out the hard way. But basically what I did, and this is what I recommend anybody does, is literally just go and put a link to your calendar, get on a call with people and ask people what they want, right? And not even with the kind of necessarily with a thing to sell for the first 5 or 6 calls, just get on a call with people and just start talking to them and they'll tell you, right? And then what I do is I then started pre-qualifying. So I think I got on a call with about 3 or 4 people, and then, you know, one of them just said, look, I just want to hire you. How much? And I said, okay. I said, all right, we'll do it. And his name was Todd. And I charged him a fee, and we worked together for 8 weeks, and I made him a bunch of promises, right? Because I didn't even know if I could teach this stuff. So we did a channel review after 2 weeks, and we got like 70 odd page listings on the front page of Google. And then I kind of started showing more and more people. And then what I would do is I did this one-to-one for about 6 months, 9 months.
Right. And
I would basically, every time I would be on a call with them, they'd say, well, what do I do next? And I'd say, right, you do this, you do that, you do that. And they'd go away and do it. And then I'd think, right, well, I don't really need to be training that on the next call. So I'm going to go and record it, right? So I recorded it and added it in.
Right.
So the course built itself. Over about 6 to 9 months, this course was ready, and I hadn't planned anything. I'd literally just put everything in that I'd kind of worked with my one-to-one customers.
Right. Okay.
And then eventually I just switched off the one-to-one and just transitioned sort of easily into the selling courses.
Okay. So what did you do then? So you got that ready and you're ready to launch the course. How did you launch it? What funnel did you use?
Well, I used the perfect webinar to start with
Okay.
and I basically would send traffic. All my traffic's organic, right? So I would send all my traffic from YouTube and I would send it, and I switched from offering my calendar to straight into the perfect webinar funnel.
And was it recorded or did you do it live?
So I didn't do it live. I do it live every time now, but for the first year I was petrified of doing it live. I used to get sweaty palms, even just doing Facebook Live. And so it's funny, isn't it? Like I had this, I recorded this thing 100 times, and I'm a big fan. Like I teach my students now, like money loves speed, right? If you want to be a brain surgeon, then you've got to do, 7 to 9 years before you put a scalpel on someone's head. Yeah. But if you're doing marketing, it's the opposite. You've got to go out and do stuff to get a feedback loop from what you're doing, because you don't know, you can't guess.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, so I was so I basically recorded this thing like 100 times over and over again, and I would be my worst critic, right? I would go, no, that's not good, that's not good, that's not good. I don't recommend doing this, but this is the only way I was prepared to put it out, and I wasn't going to do it live, right? Which if I'd have just done it live a few times, it would have, I would have got the same feedback loop as I've got by like working one-to-one with customers. It would have, but I just wouldn't do it. And then literally April 2020, I started promoting a product, and like basically one of the biggest gurus in the industry, Mike Fulsame, he said to me, like, we can bring your course onto my thing, but you've got to do it live. And I didn't tell him I'd never done it live. I kept that to myself, and I just basically practiced and practiced and practiced this thing, and he even helped me with my webinar because there was a few things missing. And then, yeah, that webinar went on and absolutely crushed it.
So which one was that? What product was that for?
For the Affiliate Tube Success Academy. Yeah.
So that's, you got 2 Comma Club for that one?
Yeah.
What was the other 2 Comma Club one for then?
Traffic Tube Secrets, which is the magic funnel systems. Yeah.
So did you do them both the same, 2 perfect webinars?
Yeah, they're slightly different webinars. The Traffic Tube Secrets, yeah, we do run webinars with it, but we do a lot of internal selling as well, because it's a good fit for people who have my ATS Academy. And also, it was kind of created on the back of, because I was showing people how to create these funnels on Facebook groups and things like that in my training. Right. And one of my online friends, Ricky Mateka, he said to me, he said, like, I'd love to put that inside my course. And I said, well, I'll create a course, and then, you can sell it if you want, and we can kind of work together. And I literally put the whole thing together in about a month. And then it just skyrocketed. Yeah. Cause this is kind of like the backbone of like ranking. Cause when people plug the funnels in, these rankings stay there for years, because traffic's going back in, and these videos are getting watched, not by Google and YouTube. And Google and YouTube always wants to present stuff at the top that's relevant. So yeah. So by people watching it via the funnel, it keeps it at the top of Google.
Right. Okay. So how did it blow up? So you got two Comma Club in 7 months, wasn't it?
Yeah, 7 months. Yeah.
How did it blow up so quick? You didn't run ads, did you?
Never run. Well, I've spent about $12,000 on ads. So two things happened, right? So first of all, when I first worked with Mike Fulsame, he's that sort of
is he ClickFunnels?
He's ClickFunnels, yeah. Yeah. So he sort of helped put me on the map a little bit. So he was kind of like, when I worked with him, I got reached out to by my affiliate manager, which was on my JV broker, which was Andy Husong, and he basically then started hooking me up with loads of people. So I started doing, I suppose the best way to describe it is like Russell would say in the book Traffic Secrets, like your dream 100, right? Yeah. Well, I didn't have a dream 100. I sort of did, but I wasn't doing anything about it. But they all came to me because I'd been promoted by somebody quite big in the industry. Yeah. And also because I had an agent, which again, I didn't even know they existed, right? It just happened for me. That all sort of put me on the map. And then obviously I did a lot of it through my YouTube and internal, because obviously I have a good email list now. So obviously we have that as well. So So yeah, so I'd say it's split between my YouTube, my organic strategies, my JV partnerships, and internal sales. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you build the group? Because you got your Facebook group. When did you start that Facebook group?
What, the Affiliate Tube Success Academy group?
Yeah.
Probably when I launched the course. So that would have been start of 2019.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. There's another group called Passive Income Ladder, which is the name of my YouTube channel. So that was started about 2016, because that was because I didn't start my first YouTube channel till 2016. So yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Has there ever been a time where you thought you wanted to give it all up because it was just too hard?
Yeah, loads of times. Not in the last couple of years. It's just been one big amazing ride. But I listened to a podcast a few years ago with Pat Flynn. It's one of my favorite podcasts. It's called SPI podcast. And I listened to it quite a lot. And there was like a speaker on there, or somebody he was interviewing. And there was somebody that had said it not that long before. And it kind of stuck in my brain. It was like, the day you give up, the day after could be the day you have massive success.
Yeah.
Right.
I've heard that.
And when I was recording that flipping webinar like 100 times, I honestly, I could have made life so much easier if I'd have just done it live a few times and got that feedback. And I knew that, but I just wouldn't do it. Right. And I just, honestly, if I was going through that, I wanted to throw the towel in so many times. But my motivation, like most people, like, what is your why? And I think that's a really big key thing. Like, what is your why? And it doesn't have to be like save the universe or whatever. My why was, I want to keep that roof over my head and I don't want to have a boss. Right. Yeah. And that was terrifying to me, because I didn't get on with my last boss. So, when I left the insurance company, my boss and I didn't see eye to eye. So that was terrifying. And that was just like, well, I don't want to go backwards in my life if I can avoid it. But unfortunately for me, like, that's how I seem to work. Like, I have to have my back against the wall before I finally do something about it. But yeah, I kind of am really grateful, like what I've achieved in the last few years has been incredible. And I'm still like, sometimes if I spend 5 minutes thinking about it, I think, well, how did that all happen? That's kind of crazy, and it's great. It's the best life I could imagine,
Do you have a team now, or?
Oh, it's just me. Well, yeah. So there's myself, who's like, I do the live calls, and me, I do the kind of the YouTube. I do all my own editing and all that stuff. I kind of do it all. Yeah. And then I have my VA, which is Kevin, and he does all the support tickets. And then we have an outsourced billing team, which I like to keep that outsourced, because otherwise I'm too soft, right? So they deal with that, and they're really good. But they're a contractor. They're not actually, they don't work for me. They work for me as a contractor, but not exclusively. And then I've got Andy Husong, who's my JV broker, who sets me up with other partners and things like that. But again, he's his own business. He does that for a lot of people. Right. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So do you build your own funnels?
I build all my own funnels. Yeah. All my own funnels from start to finish. Yeah.
Awesome. So are you still using ClickFunnels now?
Yeah, still using ClickFunnels. Yeah. Actually, all my magic funnels are built inside Groove, because people can get a free Groove account. So obviously that way they can build them and get them going for free. But yeah, for my main funnels, all my main funnels are in ClickFunnels. Yeah.
So what's your main focus now for this year?
Well, we're going to be building out my value ladder, and I've already started working on it. So there is a plan. And again, this is kind of all a bit up in the air. So we haven't got anything set in stone, but I'm going to be doing done for you. So building funnels for people. Okay. But I will need a team for that. So that's kind of something that I'm putting together. Also, potentially putting together a mastermind, which like-minded, business-minded people. So that's something, again, I haven't actually made up my mind how I'm going to do that, what I'm going to do. So that's another thing. Just growing the company, my main focus of everything really is just to get this in the hands of as many people as possible. Like the more people that know how to utilize YouTube, get in front of people, the better, you know, because, you know, people, the biggest common thing I think people think is they've got to put themselves on camera, but you can turn most products into a video format. So that's kind of my goal, is to get people using YouTube, because it's still wide open, because people think, I don't want to do YouTube because I'm not putting myself on camera.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so that's my main goal, really.
So they don't have to go on camera on your way?
No. I mean, unless they want to be a brand like I am, then yeah, no. So like most of the main niches, like things like pets, e-commerce products, like obviously when people advertise an e-commerce product, they'll put a picture ad on the front page of Google. You see them in a line, right?
Yeah.
But you can actually get 3 or 4 of those images, turn it into a video, and you can put it on the front page of Google, right? For instance, and nobody's put a video there. And people would click that over and above the ad because they're going to see something that's motion and it's better for them. So it's such a wide open thing at the moment. And you know, there's like pets, loans, credit cards, you know, all these different like health, wealth, all these different niches that are, you know, again, are wide open for like video formats to be utilized, but most people don't do it. So yeah, that's my goal, really.
Awesome. So I got one final question for you.
Okay.
If you were going to be an animal for 24 hours, what would you be and why?
That's a good question. I think my favorite animal is a dog, right? Because I don't have dogs at the moment because where I live, but I always love having dogs. Dogs are just always happy to see you. They're always, they're just happy about everything generally, you know, they're just kind of like, you know, you can walk out and then walk back in and they go, oh, you're back. You know, so I just love dogs. I've got a big, so I guess, I don't know if I'd want to be a dog, but I guess for want of a better answer, I'll say dog, because that's my favorite animal.
Okay, awesome. So if anybody's interested in finding out more about what you do, where can they go and find out?
So the best place is to go to my, go into my funnel, and basically, yeah, they can get free training. So if they go to claimfreeads.com. So yeah, claimfreeads.com. That's the best place for them to go.
Okay. Claimfreeads.com.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of your day, coming to chat with me. It's been awesome. I hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah, I have. Thank you so much, Polly. And yeah, it was an awesome interview. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.